All right, let's talk about something that's a total game changer for any business, the return on investment you get from keeping your team. We're going to break down how investing in your people's education isn't just some nice perk, it's actually one of the smartest financial moves a company can make.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a pretty powerful question. Think about this for a second. What if you had a secret weapon, a strategy that could get almost every single person on your team to stick around longer? What would that be worth? And this isn't just some fantasy scenario. It gets right to the core of a huge business challenge, keeping your best people right where they are.
And that number is 94%. Yeah, you heard that right. According to a really big LinkedIn Learning report, a whopping 94% of employees said they would stay at a company longer if it just invested in their career. I mean, that's a huge majority basically telling us exactly what they want.
So, why is keeping your team such a big deal? Well, it all boils down to a simple and frankly painful fact. Turnover has this massive, often hidden price tag that can quietly bleed a company's resources dry.
And when you look at the actual cost, it's kind of mind-blowing. We're not just talking about the cost of a job ad. Studies show again and again that the total cost of replacing someone, when you factor in lost productivity, recruiting, training the new person, it adds up to somewhere between 6 and 9 months of that person's salary.
So let's put some real dollars to this to make it sink in. For an employee making, say, a pretty standard $60,000 a year, you are looking at a direct hit of between $30,000 and $45,000. That's for one person to walk out the door. Now multiply that by a few people leaving, and you can see how this explodes into a massive financial problem.
Okay, so we've established the problem is huge and it's really expensive. So what's the fix? Well, there's a powerful and honestly often overlooked solution, and it's all about investing in education for your team. Now, when we say member education, what we're really talking about are structured, formal programs. These are initiatives specifically designed to invest right back into your team's potential, helping them build new skills and see a real future with your company. From their very first day all the way to their next big promotion.
And this isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. A really strong education strategy has a lot of different pieces. It starts with great onboarding, which alone can boost retention by over 80% in that first year. And it goes all the way up to advanced leadership skills, continuous learning to keep people sharp, and those invaluable mentorship programs.
But, why? How does something like a training course actually create loyalty? What's the psychology behind it? Well, it turns out it taps into some really basic, fundamental things we all want from our jobs. This quote right here just hits the nail on the head. When a company spends time and money on your growth, it's sending a really powerful signal. It's basically saying, hey, we believe in you. You're a valuable part of where we're going. And that feeling, that sense of being valued, that's the bedrock of loyalty. It's the perfect antidote to people leaving. And the data absolutely 100% backs this up. This is not just a feel-good idea. Research from the Society for Human Resource Management, or SHRM, shows that huge majorities of both employees and HR managers agree that training is a key reason people stay. So everybody sees the connection here.
And it goes even deeper than that. Learning actually makes work more meaningful. LinkedIn found that 8 out of 10 people say learning gives them a bigger sense of purpose on the job, and 7 out of 10 say it makes them feel more connected to their company. And when work has purpose and you feel connected, you're way less likely to be looking for the door.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but let's get to the bottom line. The big question, does this investment actually pay off in cold, hard cash? Let's look at the financial return on investment, the ROI, and see just how big it can be.
Okay, just look at these numbers. This is where it gets really powerful. In this pretty simple scenario, by cutting turnover just 3 percentage points, a tiny change, this mid-sized company saves over $1 million every single year. That is a massive return on investment. And the wins don't even stop there. The benefits just keep coming. Companies that go all in on training also see, on average, a 17% jump in productivity. And get this, they tend to have profit margins that are 24% higher than competitors who don't spend as much on training. So you're not just saving money, you're actively making more.
All right, so the proof is in the pudding. We've seen the incredible impact. So the next logical question is, how do you actually do it? How do you build education programs that really deliver these kinds of amazing results?
It really boils down to these 4 key things. First, you gotta be strategic. The training has to actually help the company and be something employees want. Second, you need buy-in from the top.
leaders have to be its biggest champions. Third, make it a habit. Learning should be continuous and easy to access, not a one-time thing. And finally, you have to prove it works by measuring the impact and then celebrating the wins.
So, when you put all of this together, what's the big takeaway? It's really about a fundamental shift in how we think. It's time to stop looking at the training budget as just another cost. Employee education is a strategic investment in the absolute engine of your company, your people.
And that leaves us with one final question for you to chew on. After looking at all this evidence, you really have to ask yourself, is your training budget just another expense to be managed and cut? Or is it maybe your single best investment for fueling real long-term growth and stability? The data seems to make the answer pretty clear.